4.38.
And for our last story today, have you ever wondered what it would be like to be eaten by a tiger? Well, now we know, thanks to Sundari, a 7-year-old Siberian tiger living at Longleat Safari Park. Last week, when it snowed, the zookeepers decided to build some snowmen to entertain the tigers, and they hid a tiny video camera inside one of the snowmen to video the tigers' reactions. At first, the tigers just sniffed at the snowman, but then one of them, named Sundari, began attacking the snowman and started to eat it and the camera. However, she didn't like the taste of the camera, so after a while she spat it out. Amazingly, the camera hadn't stopped recording and was still working when the zookeepers recovered it. The video that the hidden camera had taken was incredible. For the first time, you could feel what it would be like to be attacked by a tiger and see its open mouth coming at you and see its enormous razor-sharp teeth and its rough tongue. In fact, a spokesman for the safari park said that the shots of Sundari's teeth were so clear that it gave them the chance to do a quick health check on her mouth, gums, and teeth.
4.39. 1. Jack offered to drive me to the airport.
I promise not to tell anybody.
2. The doctor advised me to rest.
I persuaded my sister not to go out with Max.
3. I apologized for being so late.
The police accused Carl of stealing the car.
4.40. Accuse.
Admit.
Advise.
Agree.
Convince.
Deny.
Insist.
Invite.
Offer.
Order.
Persuade.
Promise.
Refuse.
Regret.
Remind.
Suggest.
Threaten. 4.41. 1. He offered to make some coffee. 2.
He refused to go.
3. He agreed to help me. 4.
He promised to call me.
5. He reminded me to lock the door. 6.
He advised me to buy a new car.
7. He invited me to have dinner. 8.
He denied breaking the window.
9. He admitted stealing the money. 10.
He regretted marrying Susan.
11. He suggested going to a dance club. 12.
The police accused him of stealing the laptop.
4.42. 1.
I didn't break the window.
He denied breaking the window. 2.
I wish I hadn't married Susan.
He regretted marrying Susan. 3.
I'll call you, believe me.
He promised to call me. 4.
Let's go to a dance club.
He suggested going to a dance club. 5.
You stole the laptop.
The police accused him of stealing the laptop. 6.
No, I won't go.
He refused to go. 7.
Okay, I'll help you.
He agreed to help me. 8.
Remember to lock the door.
He reminded me to lock the door. 9.
I'll make some coffee.
He offered to make some coffee. 10.
Would you like to have dinner?
He invited me to have dinner. 11.
Yes, it was me. I stole the money.
He admitted stealing the money. 12.
You should buy a new car.
He advised me to buy a new car. 4.43. Journalists and people in the media. 1.
Critic.
2.
Sports commentator.
3.
Reporter.
4.
Editor.
5.
News anchor.
6.
Freelance journalist.
7.
Newscaster.
8.
Paparazzi.
9.
Advice columnist.
4.44. Adjectives to describe the media. 1. D. The reporting in the paper was very sensational. 2. E.
The news on Channel 12 is really biased.
3. B. I think the New York Times is the most objective of the Sunday papers. 4. A.
The movie review was very accurate.
5. C. I think the report was censored. 4.45. The language of headlines. 1. A.
Famous actress in restaurant bill spat.
2. E.
Team manager to quit after shocking defeat.
3. G.
Prince to wed 18-year-old TV soap star.
4. L. President backs senator in latest scandal. 5. I.
Tarantino tabbed to direct new thriller.
6. B.
Thousands of jobs axed by U.S. companies.
7. K.
Stock market hit by oil fears.
8. C.
Police quiz witness in murder trial.
9. D.
Astronaut bids to be first man on Mars.
10. J.
Politicians clash over new car tax proposal.
11. H. Tennis star vows to avenge defeat. 12.
F. Actor and wife split over affair with cleaner. 4.46.
Brad Pitt said recently, "They call my kids by their names. They shove cameras in their faces. I really believe there should be a law against it." He was talking, of course, about paparazzi. But are the paparazzi really as bad as Brad Pitt says they are? Today in the studio with me is Jennifer Boole, who is an actual, is it paparazzi or paparazzo?
Paparazzo for a man, paparazza for a woman. Paparazzi is the plural.
So, Jennifer, are you good, bad, or in between?
Well, I think I'm a good girl, but some people would probably not like me.
A lot of people say there's a working relationship between celebrities and paparazzi. Would you say that was true? That celebrities actually tell you where they're going to be?
Yes, of course. That happens all the time.
Uh-huh.
But I think that's what a lot of the public doesn't realize. You know, people shout at us and insult us when there's a big crowd of us around. Let's say Britney Spears or Lindsay Lohan. I just want to tell them that they called us. After we've sold the photos, we split the money between the stars and us.
I've often thought that must be true. I mean, nobody just goes to the gym with their hair done and makeup on unless they're actually expecting to be photographed.
Exactly. But don't get me wrong. It's not like all the celebrities want to be photographed. If a celebrity wants to go out and avoid the paparazzi, it's pretty easy to do. Celebrities that don't like it rarely get photographed. They very rarely get photographed.
Give me some examples of celebrities who genuinely don't want to be photographed. Like, who really hates it?
Julia Roberts hates it. Kate Bosworth hates it.
Are photos of them worth more money if they hate it?
It depends. No, not necessarily. Because they don't get photographed often, then nobody sees them in magazines, and they lose interest in them because they become boring.
What shot have you taken that you got the most money for?
Probably one of the shots that sold the best that I didn't expect, didn't even know, was Paris Hilton carrying the Bible right before she went to jail. There were lots of paparazzi there, but I was the only one that got the Bible.
Do you think we need stricter laws to keep paparazzi away?
There are already enough laws. We don't need more laws or anti-paparazzi laws or anything else. There are places where celebrities can go to where they know they won't be followed, and places where they know they will be.
For example?
We don't go into restaurants, we don't go into stores, and of course we don't go into people's homes. That's private property. But a beach or a park isn't.
So you don't think that being followed and photographed by the paparazzi is really stressful for celebrities?
I think there are only a few people for whom it's really and truly stressful. I'd say that in most cases, the star not only doesn't mind, but has actually told the paparazzi, "This is where I'm going to be this afternoon."
Fascinating. Thank you very much for coming into the studio. Jennifer Boole, everybody.
.48. A short film on the speed of news.
Hi, my name's Matt Wilder. I'm a freelance journalist based in Washington, D.C. At the moment, I'm trying to find a good story. I have a 6 o'clock deadline, but nothing's going on. I know. I'll see what topics are trending on Twitter. Today, we live in the era of new media. People can access the news at any time, from any place, on all kinds of digital devices. The internet and social media sites, such as Twitter and Facebook, allow these news consumers to become news producers. If you want to be a journalist, all you have to do is post an article online, and it can be read instantly by anyone, anywhere in the world. Journalism has changed a lot during the first days of the newspaper, and most of these changes have been driven by technology. There's no better place to discover this than Washington, D.C., home of the Newseum. There are over 30,000 newspapers here, covering over 500 years of news. This is the Boston Newsletter, thought to be the first continuously published newspaper in North America.
This edition, from 1718, reports on the sensational killing of Edward Teach, better known as Blackbeard, believed to be one of the most dangerous pirates at the time.
Reporting in the early days of journalism must have been very difficult. Journalists would ride their horses to the nearest town that had a printing press. Their reports were then published in a newspaper, which is often just a single sheet of paper, and distributed on horseback.
The roads were bad, so it was very difficult to send news over long distances. By the time most people read these newspapers, the news was often very out of date.
This all changed when the first telegraph line was built in 1844. Suddenly, journalists could send stories quickly. The telegraph is said to have revolutionized news reporting. This new style of journalism came just in time for the American Civil War.
For the first time, news could be sent at the same time as battles were being fought. War correspondents, and the stories they sent, became very popular. But there were still problems. These war reports were very biased because journalists represented their own side in the war. There was no objectivity, and reports were usually censored by the army or the government. So stories were often inaccurate, and sometimes completely wrong.
It wasn't until the invention of radio and television that news could be broadcast live. This completely transformed news and created the age of the mass media, where news could be communicated to a huge audience.
Throughout the 20th century, demand for news stories increased, and news technology continued to advance. By the end of the century, there were hundreds of cable TV channels, lots of 24-hour news channels, and the internet had been invented. Suddenly, we were in the information age.
This is the HP New Media Gallery. It shows the news as it is today. Visitors to this exhibit are placed right at the center of the digital news revolution.
They are instantly connected to the day's news by live Twitter feeds, showing the day's trending news stories. They can also check out major news stories which were first reported on social media. These pictures of a plane landing on New York's Hudson River were taken on a smartphone and uploaded to Twitter seconds after the incident had occurred.
Speaking of smartphones, fantastic. A tweet from the White House. Oh, there's a big announcement in 25 minutes. I better go. Bye.